All right, so this is Mia and Grogan's Roadmap to Success. When I got here in the first video, just to reference back to that one, the dogs actually didn't act completely characteristically of themselves. And Mia was very calm. She only barked a couple of times. And her behavior has not really changed much from that point. She's been kind of removed and a little shy. So what I wanted to do is make sure that we worked on building her confidence. So one of the first things that we talked about was how to build her confidence through the focus exercise. Now remember, you're going to put both hands on your knees like this. Grogan will probably demonstrate. As soon as he looks up and makes eye contact, focus. I'm going to give him a treat. Start in intervals. So we're going to go from just giving him a treat as soon as he makes eye contact, 0 seconds, to 3, 5, 10, 20, then 30. Once you get to 30, you can kind of increase distraction. So first do this at home, then go outside in the backyard, front yard, and then out onto the street. After you get to the point where you're on the street doing this for about 10 to 20 seconds, you can start to incorporate this into higher stress situations, such as like if a dog's going by and Mia's being reactive, you can start teaching her to focus and having her come out and look at your face. So she's starting to direct her behavior away from something that she wants to be reactive to and looking to you. Make sure you have high value treats. If she does this the first time, you want to give her like a whole bunch of them. Anything that's exciting to her, give her a bunch of treats because she did the right thing and you want to reward her for that. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is make sure to keep petting with a purpose. Remember, every time you pet your dog, you're doing this with intention. You're essentially saying, good job. So every time you pet them, say in your head for the next 2 weeks, good job. If your dog's not doing something that deserves a good job, like being anxious or nervous, don't pet them. If your dog's being anxious or nervous, try redirecting them to build their confidence by asking them to sit, lay down, give them treats or a toy, whatever will motivate them and reward them. If they are doing something good, go ahead and pet them. Try to increase confidence for Mia and Grogan by petting under the chin. That facilitates their nose being up, and you're literally telling them that they're being a good dog. Grogan, good boy. Okay. Be sure to use the escalating consequences to disagree with them. Remember, you have 3 seconds to agree or disagree with your dog. Agreeing meaning petting with a purpose or using a treat reward during a training exercise. Disagreeing with them meaning something that a behavior they're doing that's unwanted or negative. You can remember the most important part of using the escalating consequences or disagreeing is timing. You want to be able to try to catch them as soon as they start the behavior, even better if you can anticipate they're going to do it. Say Grogan is about to go to the window and start barking. If he's beelining it for the window and you hiss and use that first consequence before he gets there, quickest way to stop him from going into the full behavioral set and getting him to stop doing it altogether. Otherwise, go to the window, get in between the window and Grogan, and then move him away if necessary if he keeps escalating. Okay, and then remember to stop using the escalating consequences as soon as he or Mia stop doing the unwanted behaviors. That is just as important to stop at that point. Now, I want the guardians to be practicing using the focus exercise that we just went over, probably 2 to 3 times a day for the next couple of weeks. First, I want the mother of the house to be working on this with Mia since she's shy. Work on this with her until you're up to about 20 to 30 seconds in the home, and then start working on it with other family members around so it's more distracting, and then start having new people start to work on this. The next exercise we worked on was the leadership exercise. Again, I think every member of the house should at least be working with one of the dogs once a day. Each dog should have at least 1 to 2 people working with them once a day with the leadership exercise. The more you practice this, the faster it will go. It will at some point get to the point where you put a treat on the floor and they're going to be laying down out of that 2 to 3 foot radius, and it will take literally maybe a couple of seconds to go through the whole exercise. That's a goal of yours. So I would say practice this with both of the dogs at least once a day for the next 2 weeks to help establish that leadership position and help them adopt a follower's mindset. And last, not last, 2 more things. Make sure that we use the structured feeding. And with the structured feeding, I want to make sure that the dogs are staying at least 7 feet away from the food bowls while you're preparing the food, putting the food in the bowls, and then dogs one at a time. First, Mia, she gets the opportunity to eat. She needs to eat within as soon as she walks over, she can sniff the food, engage in eating. If she sniffs the food and walks away, pick up her bowl immediately, dump the food out, put it back in the bag, put the empty bowl back down. She has to then go behind that 7 feet and then let Grogan have an opportunity to eat his food. So remember, one dog at a time, staying 7 feet away. Now, if she won't eat, try reducing how much food you're giving her, and then slowly increase it until the point where she's finishing all of her food at once, and she's staying at a nice healthy weight. So if at first it's half of what you would usually give her, and she finishes it, next meal, give her just a little more and a little more. When she gets to the point where she won't eat all of her food, go back down a little bit. You want her to be able to finish all of her food when you give her her food each time. Okay, and then the last one was the claiming the door exercise. We went over this very briefly because we ran out of time, so time constraints got in our way. You can go to the Dog on Problems website, go to Dog Training Tips, go to the search bar on the right-hand side, and type in claiming the door. Claiming the door, I want the family to participate, so whoever is home, when other family members are coming home, just go ahead and text people and say, hey, I'll be home in like 5 minutes. And that way you can keep practicing this. Remember, the more repetitions you get with different family members coming home consistently and practicing using the invisible barriers that we set today and working on the claiming the door exercise, the quicker the dogs will de-escalate their energy, and they'll start to see that the guardians are in charge of who's coming in the door and who is not. And that will take away their responsibility, reduce their stress, and actually make them feel more comfortable to new guests and strangers coming through the door. All right. So remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.